Hello, 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 and welcome to V Scott Speaks. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And you already know, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Now, we are getting into some FAFO moments where people are regretting their votes for Trump. Now, let me talk to you about that. What I believe is a lot of people went out and voted for hate of one group or another group of people. So that's why they voted for him. And this is what I've been told in my lifetime. When you dig a ditch for someone else, make sure you are digging a ditch for yourself. So don't just dig one, dig two. Okay, now let's get into these moments.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump, we love you.
A few moments later.
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
Police car behind me put the lights on, so I stepped on the side, right, to let him pass through, but it didn't happen. So he just parked in front of my car, the other one parked behind me, and they just got out of the car with the guns in the hands and say, turn off the car, give me the keys, open the window. And at this point, they didn't ask me for any ID. I was telling the officer if I can give him the ID, but he said that just keep my hands up, not moving. After that, he told me to get out of the car, and then he put the handcuffs on me. And then he went to me and said, how did I get into this country? And if I was waiting for court or if I have any case. And he looked at his other partner like, smiling, like saying, can you believe this guy? At this point, I was with handcuffs sitting on the sidewalk. And then he took my ID and saw that it was a real ID. The other guy said, take the handcuffs off, take the handcuffs off. I was Trump supporter. I voted for Trump last elections, but because I thought it was going to be the things, like be pointless, like just go against criminals, not every illegal Hispanic looking like that they will assume we are illegals. That's what they're doing now. They're just following Hispanic people looking like, because they didn't ask me for anything.
Feel pretty lost. I don't know where I'm going to go forward from here. I know the job market's not great right now, and what occurred today across the country is not going to help the job market.
What do you make of the Trump administration's actions?
I thought that he was. I did support him. I was a Trump supporter. When he talks about government waste and all that, yes, I'm behind it. I believe there is a lot of stuff in the government that needs fixing. And that's part of the reason why I actually wanted to work for the government, to help change the things that are wrong in the world, and I thought that someone with like his business acumen would have come in with a fine-tooth comb and actually found it, instead of coming in with a wrecking ball and destroying people's lives for no reason.
People dismissed last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
There's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
No kings, no tyrants, no kings, no tyrants.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories. But the betrayal felt by Pigott, a church-going conservative and three-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in Republican strongholds like Parkersburg. where the government slashing efforts of Trump and Doge are beginning to hit home.
Elon Musk has basically taken over our government and has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be.
A handful of Republican voters who lost their federal jobs joined Democrats at a recent anti-Doge protest near the Bureau of Fiscal Service offices in Parkersburg. But the federal job losses in the state could soon extend beyond the BFS building, says West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins.
West Virginia is at the very top of the states in terms of the federal workforce as a share of total workforce in the state. So if the federal layoffs happen, if they hit West Virginia, we stand to suffer a disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy.
But in Reuters interviews with 36 workers, business owners, and politicians in Parkersburg, nearly all said that Trump's focus on cutting government spending was a worthy goal. And Reuters Ipsos polling shows Americans' attitude toward Trump are so far essentially unchanged since he began firing federal workers in February. As of this week, his approval rating was holding steady at 44%.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and we love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, we were excited about that because it is true. But again, I can't help but go back to the fact that what is the decisions that you're making right now solving in the big picture? It just so the concept of voting for that again, voting for Elon Musk essentially to wreck people's lives, I can't do it.
The economic impact of the mass dismissals across America may not be immediately felt. So far, 100,000 government workers have been fired or taken a buyout. Parkersburg is bracing for it. Jennifer Piggott voted for Trump in the November election. Then in February, she was fired from her civil service job.
Absolutely, I feel a little bit betrayed.
She was among more than 120
I have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska? Does anyone even care?
Do you care about Nebraska? Because I have a feeling you voted for this. I mean, Nebraskans don't even care about Nebraska. Let me ask you another question. Who exactly did you think were going to work in the fields and in the farms after all of the regular day laborers, people of color, are no longer there anymore? Who did you think was going to do it? Did you think that there was just this army of white workers ready to get into those farms and pick all the vegetables? Now people like you who voted for this to happen are upset that something's affecting you, because what people like you tend to really vote for, it's not the economy. It's because you want to express racism and bigotry, and he was the only way that you could do that. But now it's affecting you. All those farms are disappearing, including that 300-year-old farm. And you want to know why nobody's upset at that? It's because you guys did it to yourself. You'd rather vote to have your racism easily spread across the United States instead of thinking about yourself, because you always vote against your own interest, don't you? And isn't it just like you? You voted to hurt other people, but now when it's starting to hurt you, you want us to feel sympathetic for you.
What's up, TikTok? It's me, it's Jeremy. It's March 7th, 2025. And so there's a viral trend going on right now, or a category, and it's called "Do You Care About Nebraska?" or something along those lines. And it has to do with the farmers that are going to potentially lose their farms and their family businesses due to policies changing and certain government funding being retracted. And so there's this trend going, do you care? Do you care? And, yes, we care. Of course, people care. We care about everyone. But where's the self-accountability coming from? Okay? Because I'm going to point some things out. You guys sold us out a long time ago. Farmers in the United States of America, you sold your fellow citizens out for greed, for money, for subsidies. You've allowed poison to be sprayed all over our food for subsidies, okay? You have given the jobs to the illegal aliens, as they're called, instead of paying your fellow citizens a fair living wage, so you could live on your private acres and have all your big toys and have your own private food that wasn't being sprayed with these chemicals. See, karma is coming home to roost for everyone on this planet, okay? Trust me on that. This is the great trials and tribulations that the good old book talks about, and we're all going to be judged for our lives, okay? Now, all is already forgiven. I said that at 144, okay? But that doesn't mean that you're not going to face your karma, okay? You're going to have to go through the cause and effect of decisions that you made for your money and for your greed and for your family's big old better lifestyle. Farmers are the hardest working salt of the earth people we have. It's the first job that matters. It's the only job that matters, is tilling the lands and not having to go chase down wild animals and hunt to eat. Agriculture, seeds that reproduce, trees and fruits and things that reproduce us more abundance than we know what to do with. But you sold it all away. You gave it to the corporations, you gave it to the government, and you sold us out. And now you want to cry out for help because the illegals are leaving your farms because they don't want to get deported, and you're not going to get your subsidies from big government, okay? Everyone in this world needs to start growing food now. You need to take back that responsibility. You need to be growing something. I don't care if it's in a bucket. I don't care if it's in a gallon milk jug. Plant a seed. Learn what it means to eat your own food that you have grown, that you have taken the time to nurture and feed. And it's not that complicated, guys. I mean, nature really does take care of us if we get out of its way and just kind of help it do its natural thing, okay? Instead of being disruptive and destructive. Can we just be? All right? I'm telling you, farmers, I know what you're going through. It's going to be a collapse. It's going to be a government takeover. The Bill Gates and China and all them buying up all the farmland. That's a whole nother conversation, right? But as far as you crying right now on social media about you losing your big old acres, your kingdoms within rural America, you did this to yourself by the decisions your families have made for the last couple generations. You sold us out. You poisoned our food, and now karma's coming home to roost. I'm sorry, I have to call it as it is. Yes, the government's evil. Yes, they're doing this on purpose. Yes, they're coming for your lands. But maybe if you had karma on your side, maybe you would have spiritual protection right now. Because I'm sure the people that did it the right way, I'm sure the Amish, the homesteaders, stuff like that, they're going to be protected. The walls of Jericho will be put up around lands that did it the right way. But if you are one of these people I'm talking about, one of these farms that sold us out a long time ago to this corrupt government, and now you're crying that the corrupt government is coming for you, that's karma, baby. My name's Jeremy. It's March 7th, 2025. Big news coming up with the crypto summit today, the White House Crypto Summit. So go ahead and keep your eyes on that, guys. And we'll be making videos throughout the day. I love you guys. Please get ready to help one another. Food shortages are coming. Supply chains are going to be disrupted. Farms are being affected. So start growing some food, start stocking up, and be ready to help somebody because, like I said, we're all being judged. See you in the next video.
Before I go, let me say this. No, I'm not happy with the way this administration is doing things. They are really hurting people to the utmost. Like, it's cruel and unusual punishment coming from this administration, in my eyes, okay? And what I think is a lot of people went out and they voted for this thinking that it wouldn't affect them because they were Trump voters. So you, in a way, voted for your own demise. Now, I know I said this before and I'm going to say it again. My daughter was so right when she said, America got the president they deserve. And if you don't understand, you don't understand. I'm going to leave it right there.